it's a helpful way to understand what happens in these silent transmissions and awakening itself, to understand a way of pointing as three kind of levels of awareness, three levels of consciousness that are in the human species. And this is a teaching that comes from the ancient rishis in India, very, very old, in Advaita, the earliest teachings of Advaita. And it's a wonderful teaching because nothing has changed. It's still the same today. Anything that's true will remain as it is over 10,000 years is nothing. Nothing will change. A million years isn't going to change it. So this is a very good pointing and a very good way of understanding. The first level of awareness that people have is called projected reality, what they call projected reality, which is kind of it's name and form, namarupa. It's name, which is the Sanskrit for it. It's just name and form. So people in that level of consciousness, or in that level of awareness, we see everything through name and form. This is our conditioning, right? So this is our conditioning, what we've been conditioned to experience, what we've been conditioned to see as reality. We see the world through name and form. But if you really look at that, name and form is not real, right? It's just thoughts. If you have a glass, name and form, you can't hold name and form like you can a glass. You can have the name and form of your body, but you can't hold that name and form. It's not real. It's an abstraction. So most people perceive the world through name and form. That's a dream. It's the same thing that happens when we're having a sleeping dream. We're seeing the whole world of our sleeping dream through thoughts. There is no real environment or people or anything else that's going on in the dream. It's not real. It's just our thoughts. And when we wake up in the morning, we see that. But when we wake up, we also see the world through name and form. In the morning, we still see the world through name and form. This is me. This is my room. That's name and form. So the next step up from that, when we open more to something more real, is called empirical reality. They call empirical reality. And that's the world of experience, of sensation, because that is real. It is real. Our sensations are real. When we try and understand them and put name and form on them and describe them, it's not real anymore. But the experience itself is real. And that's what you experience. In the silent transmissions, you have direct experiences and you don't understand what they are, so you can just experience them. You're not trying to, later you try and put a name and form on it, but while you're having it, you just experience it. So that's the level of empirical reality, which is quite a step up from the dream, quite a step up from name and form, from conditioning. It's just the direct experience, which is beautiful to have the direct experience. And the less we try and put name and form onto it, the less we try to understand it, which is why I encourage not understanding it, just embracing it as not knowing and just experiencing it, then the experience is deeper and more profound. And we're opening to something more, to this direct experience that's not of name and form. It's just direct experience. And that is real. Direct experience is real. Experience is real. So this is a wonderful state to be in, to just have this direct experience and not try to understand it. The less we try to understand it, the more we're going to experience, and the deeper our experience is going to be. And then the step up from that is enlightenment, is awakening. And what that is we realize that this experience is real, but where does it come from? Where does it come from? Name and form come from conditioning. They don't come from reality. They don't come from awareness. They don't come from consciousness. They come from conditioning, from society. But our experience does come from someplace. Our experience, our direct sensation of something, comes from awareness. this infinite field of awareness. That's where it comes from. And it's not separate from this infinite field of awareness. Rupert Spira describes it as a modulation or a ripple in awareness, that the sensation is a ripple in awareness, like the current in the ocean. It's not separate from the ocean. He calls it a modulation of awareness that appears as a sensation. So awakening to full reality, non-dual reality, is this awareness itself. And having the direct experience of life and focusing on that direct experience can bring us to awareness itself. When we realize, where does this experience come from? Where does this sensation come from? So I think that's a wonderful way to start the silent transmission, to have this direct experiences, sensations, whatever they are. Let them be whatever they are. And just, if you want, be curious about where that's coming from, without the mind coming in and giving an answer, because that's just going to be name and form. That's going to take a step backwards in consciousness. Not knowing, asking, inquiring, but not knowing. Hmm. Don't try to find the answer with your mind. Dissolve into the answer. Disappear into the answer. Surrender into the answer. Where does this experience come from? Where does this sensation come from? Let yourself dissolve into the answer. It's not found in the mind, it's found in your very being itself.